And the way to do that is to keep, to think about the genes. Now, when you think genetically, the trick is, as far as a paradigm in the mind is concerned, is that you are now looking at a cellular level, because it's not your brain, it's not your neurology, it's not your pancreas, there's 70 trillion cells in your body, and each cell in its nucleus has your complete DNA, which is a program, which is your God-given program to make you live and survive. Okay, that includes digestion, that includes your immune system, how to fight viruses and parasites and fungi and bacteria and molds and so on. And of course, we think that, or we were taught that there's nothing you can do about, the genes are the way they are, and that's it. If there's a quirk in there, well, you're stuck with it. But that's not true. That's not true. In fact, the opposite is true. They're very easily damaged with poisons, with toxins, with viruses, of course, do also genetic damage. But they also fairly easily repaired or modulated to function the way they were meant to function, or the way they were functioning at some point in the past. Now, these things do run in families, and usually it's mostly the mother. On the mother's side is where these things are passed down most strongly. So even if certain quirks, like I like to call them, because it's about communication on the cellular level. So all these cells are communicating, okay? And in fact, when you look at this fellow here, he's like he's got these markings on to practice acupuncture and sticking needles in these points. So the Chinese, they kind of picked up on that a few thousand years ago, that there's another communication system going on in the body, and they call these meridians and energy channels and all that. And so then this energy that flows in there, they call it qi energy, and then we call it life energy. Different people call it different things. But really what it is, what I know what it is, or what I've learned what it is your cells communicating. So, so we can listen in and analyze this communication, just like if it was the internet. It's kind of an internet of the body. It's data flow, actually. And so you can analyze it, find the quirks. For example, gluten allergy. It's very obvious. It can be picked up fairly easily. Lactose intolerance can be picked up fairly easily. I'll try to demonstrate it. We do it with software technology, but you can just do it with regular means like kinesiology or muscle testing, which I'll try to demonstrate. And then you can turn around, and this particular Dr. Nabutipad discovered a series of treatments. They're all energetically and non-invasive, literally with the bare hands, that will get rid of these quirks, like lactose intolerance, which can cause a lot of trouble. So, and of course, so can gluten allergies and sensitivities. So one of the problems is that there's so many of these. There's hundreds of sensitivities that one can have, and there's, of course, that's the one thing. Then there is chronic infections, okay, that have been going on for years and years and decades, and sometimes they've been even passed on by parents or mothers. And as it turns out, these infections become, especially viral, because of the mechanism of how a virus reproduces itself. It takes our DNA to reproduce itself, so it becomes part of our DNA. It becomes part of your DNA. So anyway, it's one of the big causes of cancer is chronic viral infections. I mean, you may have heard of human papillomavirus causing cervical cancer. That connection we have made. But there's many different viruses causing different cancers. And it's because they go to the nucleus of the cell, take over the DNA to reproduce themselves, and if that goes on for years, decades, eventually those cells forget what they were supposed to do and become cancerous. Okay? So it's kind of important to discover that before the cancer is established, because then it takes on a life of its own, and get your immune system on the job, or make the immune system aware that this problem exists, which can be done, and and get rid of the virus before it causes cancer, for example. And of course, a lot of these infections cause inflammation, and that causes all kinds of things, including weight gain. Of course, things like arthritis, you know, the inflammation in the joints, and so on. And deterioration of the brain, dementia, all these things are from the same phenomenon, just a different kind of location. So I'd like you to consider that and to realize that now, while this is not, you know, not available in the mainstream medicine is not ready for this yet. It is happening in some alternative circles, and it's great stuff. And it can help to break through a plateau, you know, to resolve some of those issues, to kind of move on in an easier fashion without having to fight every single day. So, should we just, do I make any sense? You guys? Oh, excellent. Oh, good, good. All right. So maybe.
Want to do a demonstration?
Yeah. So is there somebody here that has a reached a plateau, has really tried hard to lose weight and just can't?
I'll volunteer, Dr. Straile. Hi. Yes, I lost 170 pounds, and I got down, and it's been almost 2 years, and I have 30 more pounds to go, and I have tried everything, and I cannot lose any more weight.
Let me get my test kit over there. So,
I didn't want to put anyone else on the spot, and I have talked about my plateau a few times, have I not?
all right. So all this information is happening energetically, which means communication, right?
Is this a non-invasive test?
Absolutely. So when certain foods hit your lips, okay, it's not a physical process. It's not that your body recognizes, oh, this is an egg, and then summons certain enzymes from the pancreas to digest this egg, which consists of egg white and egg yolk, and, you know, and other substances. But it's energetic. It's instant. Once that egg or that peanut or whatever touches your lips, your system knows, whoops, here it is, and it will immediately do what it has to do to process that.
Really?
Just like if it's a virus. When that virus lands on your lip, it's instant. Your system knows instantly, oops, this virus is here, and it will do what needs to be done to muster a defense, right? All right, so.
This looks a little scary, everyone.
So I use vials which consist of water.
Just remember, I did this for you.
Thank you, Ellen.
So we can do this with computers, okay, and test like 1,800 items in 3 minutes. But right now we'll just do it physically or manually. And so this is a vial filled with water that has been charged by a computer with the energy of grains: wheat, oats, rye, and barley. Okay, it's in here. So let's see.
Does anyone have a computer we can borrow? I'm only kidding.
Okay, so the way we do that is, one way of doing that is through kinesiology, okay, which is muscle testing. So which one of your shoulders is, are your shoulders okay?
My neck's bad, but my shoulders are fine.
So we can, you can put out your arm like this and resist my pressure. Resist. So that's pretty strong, right? Okay, it's pretty strong. So now let's put this vial in this. So rather than giving you a bunch of grains, we'll just do the vial, okay? Resist.
He's pushing a little hard.
No. Well, straighten it out. Okay, resist. Resist. You completely lost your strength. Okay, let's get this off. They got some mileage on it, these files. Resist. Yeah. Now I'm pressing hard. So that's how it works, you know. Your body picks up the energy and it goes like, and for 15 seconds only, you know, you lose your strength. And it's a phenomenon called kinesiology. You know, it's been around for 60 years.
And that was wheat?
That was grain.
A grain, so,
Including wheat.
so that means I have an allergy to that? Because
Yeah.
didn't I tell you I gave up the carbs because my body wasn't processing it? And that's one of the things I did.
Yeah. So, I mean, so rather than, so you have an option, you can get that taken care of. Train your body with a simple treatment to process grains properly without inflammation, without, you know, the way it's supposed to.
How?
Oh, you gotta use, I'm sorry.
Okay, so,
What did you do?
He put a vial of computer-treated wheat water in my hand, right?
so this is, yeah, we're working on the energetic plane because that's where things are happening. It's your body communicating. Okay, it's not, you know, drugs and surgery are very crude and very physical and you know, what at the day-to-day basis that you live by, the 24 hours that you, it's the vast majority is, it's all energetic. You know, your dreams, your thoughts, your emotions, even digesting your food is an energetic process, even though there's some physical components. You know, eventually, once your system realizes you just consumed an egg or peanuts, it will get the pancreas going to digest, to secrete certain enzymes to digest those items, okay? And yes, your brain is involved and all that, but it's a genetic thing. It's a genetic process. It's actually your genes that make that happen. In this case, the genes in the pancreas and in the stomach and in the small intestine, you know? So, and it's important to realize that because then that opens the door to actually modulate that and get rid of that dysfunction.
And I think the question was, how do you get rid of that?
Oh, well, I can demonstrate it. It's we call it an NAET treatment after this Dr. Nabujipad that discovered it about 30 years ago. And now, you know, different practitioners have refined it to the point where I'm ready to do it. Just hook you up to the computer and literally reprogram it. Okay. Let's see.
Bionic Ellen.
We can rebuild
All right, should we let's try another food item. Okay?
All right.
Next one's one of them. All right.
Eggs.
That's right. Resist. So X is not bad. X is not bad.
How about dairy?
There. Resist.
Eggs.
Yeah.
I thought I had it
So now, let's say milk. So of course, milk consists of milk sugar, whey, which is protein, calcium, which is you know, the main mineral, and there's one more: sugar, calcium, whey.
Ice cream?
What am I forgetting?
So do you think you have a problem with that?
I don't have a lot of dairy either, so.
But you eat a lot of yogurt, isn't it?
Yeah, I do have yogurt. Maybe that's why I'm at a plateau. Perhaps.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I analyzed that then specifically to the protein, whey protein, lactose, the sugar, calcium, the and animal fat. Okay, and fats. That was the fourth.
So is what you're saying then, if she will restrict her diet in those things, that will help her lose weight?
Well, yes, but now she's got to restrict herself to all the grains and all the dairy products, and so life is miserable.
Yeah.
So why, you know, when there is ways to get rid of that, so that's not a factor anymore. And you may actually, you know, grains are very nurturing. They give you lots of energy. So not consuming grains is not necessarily even
So he's going to
possible.
reprogram me
Right.
so that I don't have these allergies.
Exactly. And we do that with, you know, what we call NAT treatments.
Well, you
Basically, they're energetic treatments of, and what they do, I believe, I'm pretty sure, is they reprogram the genetic function, you know. Like when you read about the research that's going on at the moment, even the guys that just won a Nobel Prize in science and physics and in biology, it's all about cell communication and about genes and switches. They switch on and off depending on what your body needs to do. And if they don't work, then, you know, there's cancer and there's this and there's inflammation is the most common thing. Yes?
Are you gonna reprogram her tonight?
Well, I can
For
just- I can-
free? I want to be
I can-
reprogrammed.
I can just demonstrate, okay, what we
Okay.
do. So what we do is a combination of treatments. One is I call manual neuromodulation. The other one is acupressure.